This is a blind box button. Just press it and a random item pops up. No one knows what it will open next. And there are switches like this. It's all over the house. The man's name is Mike. He's been locked in here for 5 days. The only way to escape is to find the exit of the blind box house. To escape, he presses 1 at random. Then he starts trying one by one. All that fell out were useless items. Mike gets tired of playing. He threw a balloon, but when the balloon hit the switch, and out fell a plate of sushi, but all sushi and no soy sauce. It was a bit bland. He continued to press the switch. It was still sushi. He had no choice. He had to eat what he could. After eating his fill, he flicked the switch again at random. A bottle of soy sauce fell out. Yes, it was soy sauce. What have you been doing? After he'd had enough to eat and drink, Mike wanted to take a nap. He pressed a button. A pair of glasses fell off. He put them on and looked around. He spotted a child on the wall. Mike was so excited. He thought he'd found an exit. He pressed the button. The room went black instantly. A terrifying countdown was displayed behind it. Mike was dumbfounded. He started pressing buttons everywhere. The buttons on the wall were disappearing. Then something huge appeared above his head. From then on, Mike stopped struggling. He got used to life here. He started to catch up on the comics. But when he finished the 5th one and was looking for the 6th one, out came the 7th. Mike didn't believe it. Pressing a different button, and out came part 8. No matter how he pressed it, part 6 just wouldn't appear. And as he pushed around, a door suddenly appeared behind him. This man is trapped in a house full of blind boxes. By pressing a button on the wall, random items will drop. On this day, he pressed a button. A strange door suddenly appears behind him. Before he could react, the door closes. Which one did he just press? He couldn't remember. He had to try one by one. Then suddenly a black boy popped up. He passed by him and ran into the wall. Mike didn't have time to react. Keep pressing. And finally, God willing, finally Mike found the door. Just as he ran through it in excitement, the button popped back. The door closed instantly. He rushed back to press it again. Then he ran as fast as he could. Still a step too late, so he decides to do things differently. He accelerates the sprint with an assisted run, but he was still a little short. Then he found a rope, trying to use the rope to shorten the distance. Still no luck. Mike was furious. He found another cart, but the cart didn't follow the route at all. After a few moments of thought, he found that if he pressed the button and didn't let go, the door wouldn't close. Soon, he found a vase of flowers. He tried to hold the button down with it, but the vase was too heavy to hold it down. After some careful thought, Mike thought of using rainwater to fill the vase, but he didn't know where the rain would land. It follows the others. And so, after 79 baptisms, Mike received just enough water, just enough to water the potted plants. It was a waste of time. Soon, Mike had another idea. Fill up the vase with sushi, but it was too full. He couldn't lift it. Trying to reach out and take some out, he couldn't get his hands in. Luckily he found some chopsticks when he managed to get the vase over, but then he forgot the on-off button. After a few operations, he pressed a button. He was turning around to make sure the door was open. The little black man suddenly appeared and kicks him in the vase. This man has been opening blind boxes for a month, and finally found the exit switch, but forgot which one it was. Just as he presses a random button, the little black man appeared out of nowhere, and kicked his vase to pieces. Mike was devastated. Then he got a roll of tape and tried to glue the button on. It seemed to work pretty well, but just as he was about to run away, this time he found a piece of tin and fixed it. Mike was slowly being driven mad. By the next day, he opened a rope from the blind box. Mike was so excited. With this piece of rope, this time it was a sure thing. Soon, he swung himself in on a swing, only to find that the door was locked. Needing a key to open it, the door was about to be closed. He ran back and almost hit his back. He kicked the wall in anger. Instead, he kicked out a key. He was about to go and get it, but the key was gone. Mike rushed back to the wall where he had been, trying to find the button for the key, but he couldn't remember which one it was. He had to press one of the buttons from memory. This time finally he found the button, and marked it, but the key was too far away. He couldn't reach it by running, so once again he turned to the town's secret thinking. First he swung on a rope to get the key, then he used his inertia. He managed to get to the door and get out, but because of his strength, he couldn't get the key at all. He found another toilet plug. Finally he made it, just as he was about to open the door, but the door wouldn't open. Mike looked up and saw there was a combination lock on the door. Mike was speechless. He returned with his back protected again. He grabbed the toilet plug and threw it out in anger. He accidentally pushed the button of the black guy. He was a familiar customer. He took one look at Mike and he strutted away. Suddenly, Mike realized the black guy has the code on his head. After 3 attempts by Mike to get the door open, finally got the door open, but the space inside inside was too narrow. He was stuck inside. Now there's no way out. There was no way in. Mike was devastated. He even regretted being in there. He began to remember his happy days in the blind box house. Although he couldn't get out, but he was happy. Just then, a gentle breeze blew through his hair. Mike followed the breeze and found a secret compartment. When he opened it, ahead of him was a long, deep corridor. To get out of there, he started running like a madman. Finally, he came to the end of the corridor. Mike looked up. It was another weird space. Once again, Mike was trapped here. And that's it. The Blind Box 2.0 begins.